Welcome to the SheerLuxe podcast with me, Charlotte Collins. This week we have a bit of a beauty founder special. I am joined by Laney Crowell, founder of Saie. And if you don't know Saie, you should. Where have you been? Since launching in 2019, Saie has become a go-to for, I'm going to read this so we'll get this absolutely right, okay? A go-to for skin first, clean, high performance makeup, winning fans for its thoughtful approach and transparent ethos. Today we are diving into Laney's journey.
Buckle up for like the best ride of your life.
All the products that you need to know about.
As I mentioned, we had launched 4 months before COVID. So people couldn't get eyelash extensions and everybody was messaging us saying, oh my God, your mascara saved me.
And what's coming next for the brand. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
I mean, you were looking annoyingly fresh for somebody who has just got off a red eye. This is
let's hope I make sense.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's true. You haven't said anything yet, so
exactly.
this could all go to shit. Laney, first of all, tell us a bit about, for those who don't know,
yes,
tell us about the brand. Sort of, what's the potted history? Where did it come from? What were you doing before?
Oh my gosh, well, we launched in 2019, perfect 4 months before COVID. So, we've been on a journey. I started my career in fashion, part of why I'm such a huge fan. Decided to move in-house in beauty, and I worked at one of the biggest beauty companies for 5 years. I say I got my MBA there because I learned from the best of the best. And I left to, I had a feeling about this conversation about beauty being better. Before wellness was a word, I was diving into that world, and I started a blog to have that conversation. And it's where the name of the brand comes from. You say it, we create it. My community said loud and clear, here is exactly what is missing from the market. Here's exactly what we want. And I had that aha moment that I think most founders have, where I was like, I think I'm the person to do this. And what my community said was, as I said, very clear. They wanted high performance, truly clean, good for their skin products. They wanted products that gave them butterflies, that excited them. And to me, what that represents is a no compromise approach. Makeup that is not only good for your skin, but makes your skin better.
And what does truly clean mean? For, the words clean beauty are kind of banded around quite a lot. And it's, there's the sort of buzziness of all of that. What does actually clean look like?
Well, what clean means to say is products that are good for your skin. So yes, there are 2,000 ingredients that we don't use because they are known irritants. And all of our products are non-comedogenic, dermatologist tested, safe for sensitive skin and safe for acne skin. And so what I focus on and what we focus on at Saie are the ingredients that we do put into our products. So when you aren't putting silicones into your products, you're putting in nourishing ingredients that are hydrating, brightening, protecting your skin.
All the goodness. You talked about your following and, your audience and what they wanted. Tell me a bit about what that means. You were content creating, you were working for a beauty brand.
I've always been content creating.
Yeah.
That is storytelling is what I love. I moved to New York to work in magazines because I was obsessed with magazines. And someone aptly said to me, you should do what you love. And I was like, well, I really love reading magazines. So I moved to New York. I didn't know a soul, not one person. I literally went and knocked on doors. And I remember the fashion editor at New York Times, I think her name was Alex Brown. And I was downstairs and had them call up to her. And I somehow got upstairs and she said, the only reason why I let you up is because you had the guts to do this.
Wow.
So I kind of just made it happen. I ended up getting my first job at Lucky because I ran into the editor-in-chief, I think Banana Republic. And I introduced myself and I said, Miss France, I moved here to work in magazines. How do I get my foot in the door? She gave me her card on Fifth Avenue and said, you have the number one most important skill, and that's fearlessness.
How old were you when you did all this?
It's probably 24, 25.
That is bold.
Well, because you almost don't know. I mean, I do remember being very scared and intimidated in the moment, but I don't know. Also, what do you have to lose?
You shot your shot.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's how you got into magazines. And then, as you said, you went into beauty. That was in the PR space, right?
So I started in editorial at the time when social media was, and not even social media, it was websites. every magazine was making a website and jobs were dropping on the print side, sometimes being replaced on the digital side. And I kind of just saw what was coming. And when I discovered social media, I just was obsessed. This frictionless conversation, the ability to, go from 3-month lead times in editorial to instant, I thought was just incredible, like blew my mind. And so I was very early in that space. And Estee Lauder reached out and said, will you help us create our digital footprint? And I'd never been in-house. I'd never had dental insurance. So I was like, let's do this.
Sold. So you're working in this space and then you decide that you're going to launch the brand. What was the journey from there? How did you actually, day one, say, okay, this is how we launch?
So I had that aha moment that I mentioned, and it was a true Oprah style aha moment where I was going out one night, I wanted some makeup, and I was like, oh, let me go to the beauty closet that I had created in my apartment after I'd started the blog, because brands started sending me product to review from day one. And every bin was overflowing except for the makeup bin. And like, it was such a defining moment for me that I can still visualize the entire thing of like opening the doors, looking at the bin, seeing the product, pulling the makeup bin out. And I think there was like 4 things in it. And so that night I had the Instagram stories conversation with my community. I stayed up late just asking them questions. And, it was like, that was kind of the moment I had the calling. And then I was pregnant at the time. I had my daughter Isabella, and it probably took me 3 months after that to kind of be like, okay, like, what does this really look like? I'd been mulling it over in my brain for a long time, but I hadn't actually put pen to paper. Started fundraising, started hiring, reaching out to people. I sold my stock in Estee Lauder to pay my first 2 employees. And I just put one foot after the next. I mean, I had no idea how to do anything. I didn't know how to start a business. I didn't know how to incorporate. I didn't know what equity meant. I didn't know anything.
I want to ask more about that business journey, but just going back to those 4 products. Am I right in thinking the point you're making is that you were using very little and there wasn't enough? Is that what you mean about having a...
Oh, there just wasn't, there was like 5 brands that existed.
Right.
And the products oftentimes just weren't high performance.
Yeah.
I remember using a clean mascara that just fell immediately onto my face. And the products were, would kind of disappear quickly. They wouldn't really stick to your face. That high performance factor in everything that we make at Saie is, to me, essential, because you have to make something that is a hero.
That works. So what did you start with product-wise? You started this business.
I started with mascara.
And you started with mascara. Why? Because that other one was so shit.
Yeah. And that was because the community had said, make a mascara. And when looking back, because I remember editors being like, this is interesting that you're launching first with the mascara. Like, nobody does that.
And why does nobody do that?
I don't know. I think maybe because it's a hard category to break into. There's a lot of amazing mascaras on the market. Ours is 100% natural or naturally derived ingredients. It's so nourishing. We actually have a growth extract in it. So as I mentioned, we had launched 4 months before COVID. So people couldn't get eyelash extensions, and everybody was messaging us saying, oh my God, your mascara saved me because it's helping my lashes grow back. Like, that's what I mean when your products can actually improve your skin.
Okay, so you launched with the mascara.
Yeah, we launched with the mascara. Yeah. We also had a lip balm and a brow pomade. And one thing for me, especially in clean, because raw ingredients are always improving, we're always looking at our formulas and improving them and evolving them. And so the only SKU that we have still is mascara, because that's an incredible product. And then the next, 2 months after, we launched Glowy Super Gel, which is our hero and the #1 highlighter at Sephora.
And I want to know about who you use, how you spoke to people. Did you already have a list of ingredients that you were like, okay, these are the absolute ban? I mean, you mentioned 2,000 ingredients you don't use. Kind of who educated you to get you to the point that you could create what you wanted to create?
So because I was pretty entrenched in this world, thanks to the blog, there was a woman named Gay Timmons, and everyone referred to her as the Gandalf of clean beauty, because she is a toxicologist, and Credo, Folane, all of the kind of big clean beauty retailers used her to help them create their list of products that or ingredients that they watched out for. And so I cold called her and said, hey, can you help me? And here's what I want this to look like. Here's what I want to focus on. And we still tap her today.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
So I just want to dig into that, how you got the mascara to launch. So you've spoken with her, you get the product going, and then where do you even start in terms of distribution? You set up a website, what happens?
Okay, so the two hires I made was I hired a product developer who I had worked with previously, because that was my first call. I had to even understand, is this hypothesis possible? Can you make truly clean products that are high performance? And she was like, not only yes, but this is the only thing that I've been wanting to work on is exactly this. And so she joined the team, and then I hired someone for finance, and that was it. That was the team. I put a list of here are all the products that I would want. And then I reached out to the community and I said, well, what do you guys want? And so we just kind of built our product pipeline from there, but very much through that lens of easy and effortless, because I'm not a makeup artist. And I think that's a big difference between Saie and other brands is that I look at everything through the lens of a consumer. What do I want to use? What do my friends want to use? What is missing from the market? You
still to this day have a very tight product edit. I mean, we'll get into some of the products in a minute. Tell me kind of why that is. How deliberate has that been?
Well, I love to hear about products one by one. When a brand launches a collection, I'm always a little bit confused of like, well, what should I be focusing on? How can they all be great? And so there's that. And then there's also the fact that it's really hard for us to develop products. That product developer that I mentioned, she calls it the Olympics of product development. And the amount of time that it takes her to develop one Saie product, she said she could do 30 of traditional products.
Because my next question was going to be, why do you think that there is such a lack of focus on clean beauty in the industry as a whole? But that kind of explains it, right?
I think it's hard to do. I think there's that fact. I also think that Saie is pioneering this conversation about products that are improving your skin.
When was the first time you thought, oh, this is really working, I might be onto something here?
When Women's Wear Daily launched an article about 3 months before we were going to launch the brand that said, this brand is coming. And the next day I got an email from Sephora and I couldn't believe it. It was like instant.
So you were stalked in Sephora from the get-go?
No, I just got an email.
Not the same thing. Got it. Okay, but contact was made.
But the biggest prestige retailer in the world emailing you, I still have moments where I'm shocked like that and pinch me moments, but that was wild.
How did you actually get into Sephora in the end?
Okay, this is a great story. So we had that call. I went out to Sephora twice and they were like, you're not ready. And so we launched and we had so much buzz. I mean, I have a background in social media, influencer marketing. We went for it and no call. And I was like, that's weird. Kind of thought I'd get a call by now. And someone introduced me to a woman, I think at the time she was at Herbivore Botanicals and she had worked at Sephora before. And I said, what's your advice? I was like, I feel like I'm dating an emotionally unavailable guy. Like the signals are mixed. I'm like, what's happening? And she was like, here's exactly what you should say. And she helped me draft my email and I sent it. And the next day I got a response and they said, let's chat. And I got a call in April of 2020 that we were going to launch in every single Sephora nationwide.
Which was not a time in which many people were taking on new businesses.
Nope. And we were supposed to launch that fall. And then, of course, stores continued to be closed.
Yeah.
And so then we ended up launching in the spring of 2021.
Can you tell us what was in that email?
It was very effusive. I was really honest and like, this is my dream. I created this brand to be at Sephora. And in the past, I never would have been so honest.
What about on that launch journey, any hiccups? What were the things that were the kind of challenges to get over?
Oh my gosh, I think about this because my daughter the other day said to me, she's like, well, mommy, you never fail at anything. And I was like, girl, I fail all day long, every day. For me, it's like, how fast can I recover? Like, how fast can I get up? I mean, COVID was pretty, that was a crash course in resilience. I had never experienced a pandemic before, and I definitely had never experienced it as a first-time founder. So that was, I mean, I just had to keep going.
Yeah. And here you are. Tell me about the state of the brand today, the products that you have, kind of that's the background, that's the history. Where are we now?
I'm just laughing a little bit about that last question because now it's all flooding into
Sorry,
my brain.
I brought back all the traumatic memories.
I mean, you know, it's really exciting. We're a leading brand at Sephora in the US and North America. We're at Cult Beauty in the UK, and we launched in the Middle East last year. And the Glowy Super Gel, which was one of our second products that we launched, is the #1 highlighter at Sephora. We actually have 7 products in the top 10 at Sephora, which is something I'm really...
Let's dwell on that for a minute. That's insane.
Yeah.
Of their top 10 selling best products in the States.
So in each category, we have 7 products that are in the top 10.
That's wild.
Yeah, and actually Glowy Super Gel, of their 5 top highlighters, Glowy Super Gel is 1, 2, and 3 in just different shades.
That's like a mic drop, isn't
Yeah.
it? What are the others of those 7?
Well,
Sorry, I'm testing you.
Slip Tint Tinted Moisturizer, of course, is a hero. Dew Blush and Dew Bronze. If you haven't tried Dew Bronze, it's the easiest way to bronze and contour. Our other bronzer is also in the top 10, Sun Melt, which is I can't get ready without it. Our Super Suede Baked Powder Blush, every day I put it on, I'm like, wow. I mean, it's just, it doesn't look like powder. It doesn't feel like powder. It gives you this beautiful skin radiance. I mean, everything that we create is to solve a problem. You know, when I was having a makeup artist do my makeup and put a setting powder on me and I looked 10 years older afterwards, I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is the leading setting powder. And so we created a setting powder that it actually fills your fine lines and then melts into your skin thanks to hydration properties. I mean, we infuse humidity into the oven to have it be as it almost feels like a cream, but it's a powder.
Wow.
So, and every formula that we create is like that.
You talked about the time and energy it takes to create each one of these. What are you looking for to get it right? At what point do you say, yes, right, done, this is ready to hit the market?
I think the launch that we're about to come out with is the most perfect example of this because our community had been asking for a setting spray almost since we launched. And I have such sensitive skin. I have such acne-prone skin. I'd never been a setting spray user. I mean, maybe on occasion I would, but you know, setting sprays originated as hairspray, and it's essentially what they are. And so we started working on a setting spray, and all that we were able to create was a hydration spray. And I was like, this isn't it. First of all, there's tons of hydration sprays on the market. I don't think we need another one. And 2, the whole point is that it sets your makeup.
Yeah. Hydration does the opposite.
And so it took us 5 years and we developed a setting spray with 16-hour wear. And when we got that 16-hour wear claim, I was like, let's go.
So basically you wait for the testing to confirm and
the
then go.
testing and also instincts.
Okay. Do you want to tell me about the product? Since we're on it,
here's
one you made earlier.
I think we have a little mini right here. You guys, I'm obsessed. Not only...
Go on, let's have a spritz.
First thing you're going to feel is this ultra fine mist.
Do I need to shake it?
Nope. It's almost,
that is an unbelievably fine mist.
It's almost spa-like.
Yes.
I mean, it's a moment of self-care.
Yes.
And
so lovely.
It feels like nothing. It actually gives you a really beautiful glow to the point where now I don't want to get ready without it.
I'm looking for my glow.
It's just this like gorgeous radiance.
It's unbelievably light.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel like a setting spray, which does feel like spraying.
It's not sticky, it's not tacky, and that's because there's no synthetic polymers in it.
Makes sense.
And it's actually quite hydrating, but we are focusing on the 16-hour wear conversation to not confuse people because I find that confusing as a consumer. I'm like, well, is it hydrating or is it a setting spray? This is both.
Yeah.
But the fact that we got that 16-hour claim, I'm like, I'm shouting that from the rooftops.
Lean into that part.
No one's ever done it before.
Amazing. The branding is obviously gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
Where did that come from? What was presumably you had a bit of an eye yourself. What kind of led you in the direction that you took?
I wanted something that gave me butterflies. I had this really distinct moment where I was walking into this clean beauty store and it was quite near NARS. And I had this moment where I was like, I wish I was walking into NARS. I want that feeling. I mean, I'm a beauty lover. I've always been a beauty lover. I remember like walking to department stores and seeing all the counters and like being almost like a kid in a candy store. And that was the emotion that I wanted to capture. So when we were working on talking about like, well, what's the name of the brand? And I kept going back to that conversation that we had on our blog. You say it, we create it. So SAY. And I was like, that doesn't really feel very feminine to me. And so in middle school, I lived in Paris. And so I changed the Y to an IE. And the logo is actually hand drawn. I just wanted it really simple. I didn't want our consumer paying for packaging, but I wanted it to still feel like something you were proud to put on your vanity that made you happy and joyful when you saw it. So we went with this really sleek, minimal, black and white aesthetic that just felt timeless.
What about the marketing that went into it? You talked about your social media kind of knowledge and background. What do you think has been the most effective thing that you've done in terms of branding, PR, marketing? What has been like the best call you've made as a founder?
Investing in our community. And from day one, having a conversation with them like they are just part of the brand, because they are, and throwing events for them, conversing with them, we had a private Facebook group. It's now on TYB. We have lots of perks for them. We do Zooms and master classes. It's about them, and I think they feel that.
You really straddle the Gen Z millennial space, right? The spaces between the two. I know from our office that you've got plenty of Gen Z fans, but also millennial. How do you speak to the two different customers in different ways?
From day one, I wanted the voice of the brand to be a friend, probably because I'm not a makeup artist. And, that's where I get my recommendations from, or from my friends and word of mouth. And so that's always been our voice. We tweak it for TikTok versus Instagram versus newsletter to be appropriate for that setting. I think the same way in which you talk differently in a business meeting as you talk to one of your girlfriends versus how you text.
Have you had mentors along the way in the beauty space?
My boss at Estee Lauder has always been a mentor to me. She taught me so much. Because I started Saie during COVID, it was like a very isolating 2 years. We moved out of the city. I had a baby, and I listened to a lot of podcasts. And I think that's actually where I got a lot of the advice on how to run a business, specifically how I built this. Have you ever listened to that podcast? Yep. They were short episodes, and I think I would just walk and listen. And, I think about, there's one particular one with Danny Myers where he says, if you don't like solving problems, don't start a business. And, you can get a little bit like, oh my gosh, everything is so much. And you're like, oh, no, I signed up for this.
I sometimes have that even from inside the business. I'm like, why are we always firefighting? I'm like, oh no, wait, it's our job. We're being paid to firefight because that's why.
Exactly.
Right? It's just, that's what you sign up for. Yeah. What do you wish that other entrepreneurs were more honest about? What didn't you know before that you would love other people to know about?
That it is personal. Everyone says like, oh, it's just business. It's like, it's not business when it's your baby and it's your brand and you birthed it and you created it. And, I think people say that sentence all the time. Like, oh, she's the founder, she created it. But to create something from nothing is an incredible thing. And, when you're starting a business, you hang out with everybody that you are working with almost exclusively. All you think about is work. And so, yeah, it's personal.
How big is your team now?
So we just had our infamous Saie offsite where we go a little wild, we have fun, and there were 70 people there.
Wow, so it's grown pretty quickly.
Yeah.
What has been the biggest lesson in leadership that you have learned in that time?
The importance of values. Before I did anything with Saie, I thought about like, what is the company that I want to create? What is the footprint that we are going to leave? And I thought a lot about our values and what we stand for. And who we hire is through that lens as well.
If you go back to day one or the very early days, what did success look like then? What were you hoping for? And is it miles from where we are now? Was it, where are we on your spectrum? I think
that's one of my biggest lessons is that you think that you're dreaming big enough, and every time I end up in a place where I'm like, oh, wow, I never could have even imagined this. So it's like, when they say dream big, dream big.
So what have been the big milestones then? What have been the things that you've been like, wow, we actually did this?
Oh my gosh, there's so many. And I actually had a moment the other day where I was like, I need to pause more and celebrate because I'm very much on to the next. We call it Saie Speed because I work really quickly. I got honored with Time 100 last month.
Congratulations.
I think that was something I never in my wildest dreams could have ever imagined. We were the only beauty brand in the room. I was the only beauty founder on it. And seated next to such incredible people. That was mind-blowing. Breaking into the top 10 this summer at Sephora was something that still takes my breath away. Dancing on the dance floor with my team, that's the most fun. I would say when you asked me earlier about what has been part of our success, I think joy has been a really big part of it. And that being something that we like actively focus on and strive for. And it leads to talent retention. It leads to us creating more incredible things. It leads to people being just really passionate and caring.
I have a question here about sustainability and responsibility. I don't know. I'm interested to hear what you make of this. What's written here is, Saie is outspoken about sustainability, but sustainability and beauty is complicated. How do you balance ambition with realism? I feel like that's quite a confronting question. What do you make of that?
Oh, I don't find that confronting. I think that's like what we should all be talking about.
Fair.
The beauty industry produces 129 billion units of plastic every single year. And beauty products are really hard to recycle because they're so small. It's also one of the reasons why we don't do custom packaging, because when you have all different types of material, you can't recycle it. So we have always looked through that lens. Every decision we've made has been through how do we leave the smallest footprint possible. And last year we were like, we have to solidify this. We have to put our stake in the ground. And so we started the Saie Climate initiative. That might be one of the things I'm most proud of. We have really ambitious goals, but I 100% believe that we can achieve them. And we have even partnered with Sephora on this, which is, to me, the biggest step, because Saie can do all it wants, but we're just a drop in the bucket. So partnering with every brand at Sephora, that's exciting.
And what does that mean? What does the initiative entail?
We have a campaign that we tested last year. It's called Planet Beautiful. We had 4 brands part of it. And this year we're going to have 12 brands. And we work with Repurpose. They are absolutely amazing if you don't know them. Their entire mission is waste management. And I could probably take an entire podcast talking about this. So we collect plastic through projects with them all over the world. And our goal is to collect 5 million pounds of plastic. And with the more brands that join, the higher that number is getting.
Amazing. Congratulations. Very exciting. How do you personally bring that sustainability or just general kind of cleanness into your life? Presumably you're quite good at practicing what you preach.
Well, micro moments for sure. I don't drink coffee. For me, that's a big mindfulness choice because coffee makes me so anxious. It makes me ramped up. It makes me emotional. So I love my matcha ritual every day. I start my day by like closing my eyes and just asking myself who I want to be today. I did that on the car ride here. And it takes 30 seconds, but it can completely set the trajectory of my day. And walking in nature is probably the other thing that I really lean on to feel good.
I also need to know what you're doing to your skin. Like, tell me all of this before we leave. I can't let you go. What is going on
I
here?
can break it down.
So great?
I can
Please
break
tell
it
me.
down. Sophie Pavitt Skincare, has it launched in the UK yet?
I don't know. No, Hodges is saying no, don't think so.
Okay, well, let's get that over here ASAP. She is an acne whisperer. So if you have acne-prone skin, but I think it's very much like Saie in the sense that maybe you don't even have acne-prone skin, but it's then safe for every other type of skin as well. Medic 8, which I discovered here.
Best.
The best. I have such sensitive skin that I use the retinol level 1, and I still think it makes the biggest
amazing.
difference. The 111 face masks,
The best.
I don't leave home without them. Like I put one in the car ride when I got off the plane a couple hours ago.
I like to take them on the plane and do it as we land. Yeah, the best.
But I'm pretty simple actually because I have such sensitive skin, but those are heroes.
I feel like we can't end without talking a little bit more about the products. We
Okay.
talked about the new one.
Yeah.
Tell me just a kind of whistle-stop tour on some of the absolute essentials from the Saie collection that people need to know about.
Okay, well, you have to start with Glowy Super Gel. When I launched this product, people didn't even know what to do with it because it was such a category disruptor. It's a all over illuminizer that is totally weightless, but it doesn't have any glitter in it. It just gives you this unbelievable lit from within glow. I mean, when you like look like side by side, I don't know if you can see that, but
oh yeah, wowie.
I mean,
the girls on the camera are like, yeah.
It probably just makes one of my hands look really old. But
no,
you know, I don't start my day by putting that all over. And there's a shade called Sun Glow that's vacation in a bottle.
So
it's like a bronzing drop situation.
Yeah.
That if you're feeling tired or you're feeling sad,
all the feelings.
It just fixes everything. Our Slip Tint Tinted Moisturizer, if you have dry skin, is so hydrating and dewy and has SPF in it and has licorice root extract in it. So it actually brightens your skin. I was a swimmer growing up, and so I have quite a lot of dark spots, and it noticeably brightens my skin. I can just talk about this stuff forever. So tell me when I have to stop. All of the skincare properties in our formulas, everything just melts into your skin. So everyone's like, oh my gosh, it's the easiest blush to apply. Well, that's because there's actually ingredients that are melting into your skin, plumping your skin. All of a sudden your cheekbones are like popping a little bit more.
Great.
Our baked products, which are revolutionary, they're winning every single award left and right because first of all, they're handmade in Italy, and they're made like a dough. And so we literally knead into the dough hyaluronic acid, jojoba esters, these really hydrating ingredients, and then they're put on these terracotta discs and put into an oven where we pump the humidity into the oven. And when you apply it, you almost gasp because it's so seamless. You don't see, I hate the look of powder on skin, and you don't see any powder on your skin. Our Glossy Bounce, I have so many pictures of being out at dinner and everyone pulling one out and everyone is holding a Glossy Bounce.
Is that what's on your lips right now?
That's what's on my lips right now.
Yeah, I need that. Yeah.
Also one of the hardest products we've ever had to formulate.
Because
doing a lip gloss that is shiny, that stays in place without silicones, it was like a Nobel Peace Prize moment when we finally broke through on this one. I'm really proud of this formula. And then I already spoke about City Set, but I'm excited for this to like change the beauty game.
Give it a hard plug. When has it launched already?
So City Set is available now. I'm so excited for everyone to try it. I cannot wait. You have to DM us what you're thinking. The most lightweight, ultra fine mist you've ever tried. I just like put it on to feel good, like 3 p.m. It feels amazing.
Hodge is just in the background saying she wants it. Excellent. It smells gorgeous. I can smell it from here. If you could go back and tell the version of yourself that started the business one thing, what would it be?
I would say buckle up for like the best ride of your life.
Okay.
We're having so much fun.
Love that. And finally, what's the dream? What's still on the list to achieve?
Oh my gosh, I feel like we're just getting started.
Watch this space.
Sky's the limit.
Love to hear it. Amazing. Laney, thank you so much. All of Saie products are available at Cult Beauty in the UK, including the new 16-hour session spray. So there you go. Thanks so much for joining us. And thank you for listening. Thank you. If you have any feedback, do stick it in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell your friends. And we'll see you next time. Bye.